Welcome to Have You Read It, the channel where we bring books to life one summary at a time. Today we're exploring David L. Rohl's Ascent to Power, a gripping account of Harry S. Truman's journey from an unexpected vice presidential nomination in 1944 to his astonishing re-election as president in 1948. This period, marked by the death of Franklin Delano Roosevelt and the dawn of the Cold War, witnessed Truman's transformation from a seemingly ordinary man into a decisive leader who shaped the course of American and global history. Our story begins on a muggy Sunday in July 1944. President Roosevelt, preparing for a clandestine rendezvous with his longtime love, Lucy Mercer, decides to officially announce his fourth-term candidacy. Meanwhile, Senator Truman, unaware of the machinations surrounding his own political future, grapples with more mundane concerns, like rationing restrictions on car tires. This contrast underscores the dramatic shift about to occur in their lives. The backdrop to this transition is World War II. Roosevelt, despite declining health, embarks on a secret journey to Tehran to meet with Churchill and Stalin. This meeting, fraught with risk due to a leaked cable alerting the Nazis to the summit, is crucial for coordinating the Allied war effort and laying the groundwork for a post-war peace organization, a dream deeply rooted in Roosevelt's desire to avoid the failures of Woodrow Wilson and the League of Nations. While Roosevelt is in Tehran, the seeds of Truman's vice presidential nomination are sown. The newly appointed Democratic National Committee chairman, Bob Hannigan, a close associate of Truman, begins advocating for the Missouri senator. This seemingly minor political appointment would have enormous repercussions. Back in Washington, Roosevelt's health worsens. His daughter, Anna, recognizing the gravity of the situation, insists on a thorough medical examination that reveals congestive heart failure. This intervention, initially resisted by Roosevelt's physician, likely extends his life and gives Truman precious months, albeit insufficient, to prepare for the presidency. The 1944 Democratic Convention is a whirlwind of political maneuvering. Despite initial support for Henry Wallace, party bosses concerned about Roosevelt's health and Wallace's liberal views push for Truman. Roosevelt, playing his cards close to his chest, finally gives the nod to Truman after a series of private meetings and a strategically timed phone call. Truman, initially reluctant due to his wife's concerns and the potential exposure of family secrets, accepts, setting the stage for his unexpected ascent. Roosevelt, after a brief meeting with his new running mate, focuses on the war and his vision for a post-war world. His meetings with MacArthur and Nimitz in Hawaii highlight his focus on military strategy, while his dealings with Stalin at Yalta reveal his unwavering faith in personal diplomacy and a cooperative post-war relationship with the Soviet Union. This faith, as later events would demonstrate, was misplaced. Truman, largely excluded from Roosevelt's inner circle, spends his 82 days as vice president mostly in the dark. Roosevelt makes no effort to prepare him for the presidency, nor does Truman aggressively seek information or build a team of advisors. This lack of preparation would leave Truman scrambling when he suddenly assumes the presidency. Roosevelt's death at Warm Springs in April 1945 marks a turning point. Truman, thrust into the presidency, faces a world on the brink of transformation. The war in Europe is nearing its end, but the conflict with Japan rages on. The nascent United Nations faces challenges, and the relationship with the Soviet Union is already showing signs of strain. Truman's early presidency is marked by both decisive action and missteps. His decision to continue the war against Japan and his support for the United Nations are in line with Roosevelt's policies. However, his initial approach to post-war Germany, influenced by the Morgenthau Plan, and his abrupt curtailment of Lend-Lease aid to the Soviet Union create friction and contribute to the growing Cold War tensions. Recognizing the need for guidance, Truman seeks counsel from those who knew Roosevelt best, including Harry Hopkins. Hopkins's insights into Stalin and the Soviet Union, though initially encouraging, foreshadow the challenges Truman would face in forging a lasting peace. Domestically, Truman grapples with the challenges of reconversion, inflation, and labor unrest. His ambitious 21-point program, though largely blocked by a conservative Congress, sets the tone for his domestic agenda, a continuation of Roosevelt's New Deal with a focus on social justice and civil rights. The 1946 midterm elections, a referendum on Truman's presidency, result in a Republican landslide. This defeat, though initially demoralizing, ultimately frees Truman from the constraints of Roosevelt's legacy and allows him to forge his own path. Truman's transformation begins. He confronts John L. Lewis and the United Mine Workers, demonstrating a decisiveness that Roosevelt lacked. He establishes the President's Committee on Civil Rights, taking a bold stance on racial equality that sets him apart from his predecessor. These actions, though controversial, reveal Truman's commitment to social justice. The 1948 presidential election is a turning point. Facing a fractured Democratic Party, a strong Republican opponent in Thomas Dewey, and third-party challenges from Henry Wallace and Strom Thurmond, Truman's chances seem slim. However, guided by Clark Clifford's strategic insights, Truman embarks on an aggressive whistle-stop campaign, taking his message directly to the American people. Truman's campaign focuses on attacking the do-nothing Republican Congress, a strategy that resonates with voters struggling with inflation and shortages. He also makes bold moves on civil rights, recognizing the importance of the African American vote. These actions, along with his unwavering support for the newly formed State of Israel, solidify his base and contribute to his stunning upset victory. The final years of Truman's first term and his second term are marked by significant achievements in foreign policy. The Marshall Plan, a bold initiative to rebuild war-torn Europe, and the formation of NATO, a military alliance to counter Soviet expansion, lay the foundation for a new world order. These achievements, along with Truman's decision to intervene in Korea, solidify America's role as a global leader. Truman's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He was a man of contradictions, a product of his time, yet he rose to the challenges of his presidency with courage and conviction. His decisions, though sometimes flawed, were driven by a deep sense of duty and a commitment to democracy and social justice. The main takeaway from Ascent to Power is that leadership can emerge from unexpected places. Truman, a seemingly ordinary man, became an extraordinary president. He demonstrated that decisive action, coupled with a willingness to learn and adapt, can shape the course of history. The buck stops here. Give 'em hell, Harry. The Do-Nothing Congress. Point 4. From Pendergast to President. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.